Welcome back to Let the Boys Watch, an entertainment podcast brought to you by Going Gray Productions. Happy Valentine's Day to all my
Oh,
lovers out there, all you freaks in the sheets. On this week, it was Valentine's week. We put up a poll, and the winner of that poll was the 2009 rom-com 500 Days of Summer, starring Zoe Deschanel, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Jeffrey Arend, Chloe Grace Moretz, Matthew Gray Gubler, Clark Gregg, and the Fox, Minka Kelly. Oh, also, sorry. Did I say it was directed by Marc Webb?
they're not.
No, but it was directed by Marc Webb. So shout out Marc Webb. I'm one of your co-hosts. My name is Robbie. Alongside me is Mr. Valentine's Day himself, the Heartbreak Kid, the cousin Benny. How you doing?
I'm doing good. And Robbie, I just want to say I love your little heart shaped mole you have right above your titties.
Thank you, buddy. The mole that I have is right on my left butt cheek.
Even better.
And alongside the cousin I is Mr. Casanova, Mr. Missionary, our great friend and co-host Ryan. Ryan, how are you?
Who told you? Who told you I only have one move?
Listen, the bash boards, they're in the street, hot and heavy.
Oh my god! Oh, the dashboards. Remember those fucking things? Well, listen, missionary is tried and true. Okay, I
It's a
go with
great
what
position.
works.
It's a fantastic position.
Oh, it's fantastic. Um, so yes, this is Let the Boys Watch. Thank you, Robbie. How are you feeling on this Valentine's Day? And I have a question for you. Will you go out with me? Yes, no, or maybe.
Uh, yes, of course I will.
Hmm. Fuck
Feeling
yeah.
left out.
Well, we can make it a three-way. So this is Let the Boys Watch, and we watch movies that one or all of us haven't seen. We typically put up a poll every week with two, three, four movies. And the extremely intelligent fans always vote, and we watch whatever they voted for. So if you are not following us on Instagram, please do so to get involved in those votes. Um, Send us an email. Almost did it again. ltbwpodcast@gmail.com. And follow us and rate us on your favorite podcast provider. But if you decide to not rate us 5 stars, we will hate your fucking guts for the rest of our lives. So
We'll
thank
hunt you down.
you. That's right.
Yeah, well,
Uh,
speaking of 5 stars,
please.
before you start, can I read a 2-star review if you don't mind? We got a
Oh my
two-star
God.
review.
I was alluding to that. Yes, please do
Oh,
so.
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but we got a
No, go ahead.
two-star review from QT Missa. And I'm gonna tell you right now, she ain't a cutie. That's a fact. So she wrote in her review, nah, 2 stars. Gave it a long try, but two all over the place when discussing a film. Well, QT Mesa, GYF, GFY. I'm sorry. I don't want to.
Fantastic start.
Maybe
I
she's
don't want
right.
the. Yeah, I don't want the the bots to screw up our views on YouTube. So I'm trying not to curse. But sweetheart, the only thing all over the place is your eyebrows. So go take a hike and lose our number, lose everything about us. I hope your Valentine's Day was filled with duty covered roses. You
Oh,
stink. If you got a problem, you can at me all day long.
wowza.
Well,
Wait,
I will say, hey, I mean, 2 stars. At least it wasn't one.
that's true. It's a little something.
Maybe she saw you in that turtleneck from the Plummies, and
Oh,
she was like, hey, I wanted to go 1 star. I want to go 0 stars, but that boy looks cute.
I'm not having it. All right. I'm not having it. All right. She's
one
got me
star for each
flustered.
of your beautiful balls.
Oh my God, thank you. She's got me flustered. She's got me angry. She's got me pissed off. Just a couple of guys trying to, live out their dreams, have a couple of passions. uh, and uh, and do something with their lives. Sorry about that. I won't do it. We won't do it again.
All right.
I feel like this is the beginning of 500 days of QT Mesa.
That's all right. This would be day something in the 400th.
Yeah.
Um, so since we watched 500 Days of Summer, I'm curious for those of you that didn't watch it, which is I believe both of you, right? What did
Hmm.
you think about it going into it? Listen, I'm trying to stick to the script here. I don't want to be all over the place.
Please, you better follow
Please
that
don't.
script. Robbie, why don't you go first? I feel like you've seen the last few movies we've watched, so want to hear from you.
Me?
Yeah,
I haven't seen it.
that's what I'm saying. But you've seen
Oh,
the
yeah.
last few, so you haven't gotten to give your opinion.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, sorry. Oh boy, the boy's brain is scrambling. This is your
We
brain
are
That
like
all over the
two-star
this.
review
place.
got you messed up.
I'm just gonna snap. Uh, yeah, I didn't know really that much about this movie at all. I definitely wanted Eternal Sunshine to win. I figured this movie was gonna be uh corny or something I didn't really like wasn't really gonna enjoy, but I really did wind up uh enjoying this movie a lot. I didn't know a lot about the plot or anything like that, so I was surprised going in, which was nice. And to be honest with you, I didn't even watch the trailer, so I had no idea what was going on. Um, so I went out with the bill on Friday, and he told me, he was kind of glad that this won because he put it in a way as when he saw it years ago, his perspective of the movie was different than when he saw it, potentially recently. So I kind of like that viewpoint of it. But I was pleasantly surprised at this movie. I thought I wasn't gonna like it. I thought it was gonna be a little too corny for me, but I'm just a sucker for rom-coms, man. I really am when it comes to it. And I really, really like this movie.
Nice. Funny.
So I didn't have any idea what this movie was about. I honestly thought it was going to be something corny about literally summer and like this, you know, romantic summer that two people had that extended pat whatever. I don't know. I just thought it was I didn't know it was going to be the name of the girl. Um I feel like this movie and like Garden State meld together for me. I kind of feel like they both like indie rom-coms that kind of are held in high regard. Um wasn't too thrilled that this one won because I'm just not a big rom-com guy. Like I get it, they have their audience, but a lot of the time it's not for me. If I'm gonna commit to watching a movie, I want it to have something more than like just a love story attached to it. And that's why I've loved a lot of the movies that we've done because they're, a little bit more, I don't want to say serious, but they have kind of something else going on besides a love story. So that was my outlook going into it.
Fair. And I agree with you guys. I also wanted Eternal Sunshine to win. But the way the votes fell, it wasn't going to happen. And, maybe we'll do Eternal Sunshine another time because I think we would all really like it. But it is I would of the three movies, so this 500 Days of Summer and Crazy Stupid Love, it is the most depressing. But it is the best one. I thought it's the best movie. But I think this one is a little more lighthearted um in the end and all that stuff. So I mean I'm happy this one was the one. But Eternal Sunshine is definitely a better film. Much, much, much better. But anyway, um, overall impressions and plum scores.
Sure, why don't you lead us off?
All right. Robbie brought it up, and Brian had sent us a message on Instagram. Thank you for interacting with us, Brian. See how easy it is. Send us a message. Um, that he had different perspectives the first time he watched it and watching it whatever recently, and I 100% agree with him. I didn't want to say anything in the message back, but when I first watched this, probably about not when it first came out, like 2010, 11, somewhere in there, I was on the heels of the exact same relationship that was depicted in this movie, like almost to a T, the exact same thing. I fell in love with this manic pixie dream girl, then she from the start said, I don't want to get super serious. And I was just like, yeah, cool, that's fine. I'm good with that. And then, of course, I fell into a pit of despair when she didn't want to marry me or what have you. So when I first watched this, I was like, wow, this is my film. Is someone watching my life? Um, but on subsequent viewings, so I've probably seen it like a good 10 times, maybe more. I think I like it less and less, and I still like it. And my perspectives on the characters have 100% changed, just like my perspective on myself or my relationships or whatever. But you know, I still like it, but I like it less than I did when I first saw it. And I definitely think differently of the two main characters and, where my, um, for lack of a better way to say it, my likes and dislikes or my feeling on who maybe the protagonist is, antagonist, things like that. So I'm sure we'll get into all that a little later. But yeah, I like this movie. It's really cute. There's funny parts. There's great directing. A lot of like interesting way to do things. The whole way they skipped back and forth and stuff like that. But um, definitely like it less, but still like it.
Rob, you want to go?
Yeah, sure. I mean, like you, Ryan, I thought it was cool how they, skipped ahead and went back, and I thought that was a good touch to the movie. I thought it was very well directed. Love the soundtrack. Really, some great music in in the movie. I mean, I didn't think this movie was gonna make me think so much. I thought it was just gonna be your regular rom-com, but I got some takes that I want to unload a little bit. And even after I watched it, I went and you know looked up different takes from people on Reddit and what everybody thought of the movie, and a lot of people had varying takes, like I did. A lot of people talked about, like you talked about, like, yeah, when I watched it at this moment, I thought of whatever his name is was, I don't
Tom.
want to say the victim. Yeah, that Tom, was right. And then when I go back and watch it later, I could see both point of views. But I definitely have a lot of takes and about this, because there's some things in here that really chat me up and really upset me. But it depicts, that infatuation stage right off the bat, how what we all went through, and when we first start dating somebody and we just head over heels to somebody and ignore certain aspects of the person's characteristics, any red flags and things like that. And you think, you're just in love and you love that feeling and you love what goes along with that. But yeah, it it made me think, it angered me. Uh, but yeah, I'm just kind of excited to get everybody's points of view on some of my Skip Bayless takes that are coming around the bend.
You
Do we
Jason
need like a
Whitlocks.
do we need a specific segment like Robbie's takes?
I
Uh,
don't get too all over the place now.
That's true. We don't want to do that.
yeah.
All right, so they'll
I don't
just
know if
Robbie's
come
my
out
mic's working.
naturally.
Robbie's hot corner. Um, I'm like very back and forth on this movie. Like I said, I don't love this kind of movie, but there were a lot of things direction wise that I really loved. Soundtrack, great, fantastic. But to me, it comes down to I hate both of these characters so much. I think that if I would have seen this when I was in high school and my first few college years, I would have been like you, Ryan. Oh my God, this is me
The
in movie
best. Yeah.
form.
Yep.
I have such a burning heart, and why can't I give it to anybody? Um, and I would have been all over Tom, physically and emotionally. But no, like watching it now, I'm just like, you suck. You know what you're doing, Summer. Like, so at the end of the day, I think Tom is more wrong, but Summer, oh my God, there were just so many things that she did that, not maybe not so many, but she definitely fed into Tom's fantasy. But at the end of the day, it really was Tom seeing her, putting her on a pedestal, and then just ignoring everything else. And that it's his own damn fault. But I kind of diverged from my opinion of the film, but that's really what it came down to for me. So will I watch it again? Probably never again. Was it better than I thought in some ways? Yes, but not really my favorite movie we've watched. I'll leave it at that.
That's fair. Um, Speaking of being fair, let's give it some plum scores and then get into some thoughts. I cannot wait to hear Robbie's takes.
I know, me too.
And I was thinking about like before I was holding the kid and I was just thinking about what I was gonna say and I was just like, I could really get like fucking real heated about this movie. Like in some of the with the character, and I was like, maybe not. We'll see. We'll see. We might get animated later. Um, so who wants to go first? Plum scores.
I'll piggyback off what I just said.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
was I was again a hard one for me to score. I honestly was gonna go 6.5, but I there were really a lot of things about the direction that I loved. I honestly love the performance of both of the main characters. I thought they did such a really good job with it to the point where I had these feelings about them that I felt so strongly about, like, not hating them, but just being like, you guys are both fucking idiots. I want to knock your heads together. So in honor of Valentine's Day,
Oh.
I will bump it up to a 6.9.
Oh, very nice. Robbie, do you want to go or you want me to go?
Yeah, I'll go. I mean, I I'm not gonna go that low. I think mine scores actually in the eights. I enjoyed it, even though both characters made me want to give him a super kick and then a fucking Dusty Rhodes elbow. Um, I just thought it depicted what it's like, again, to be in a relationship. What it's like to ignore those signs and those red flags because you truly want to be in love with somebody and the woman or the man of your dreams. The only thing I agree with Summer is that Octopus Garden is a fantastic Beatles song. It's an amazing song. And I'm not here for the Ringo slander. I love Ringo. Um, but yeah, um, I'm gonna have to go 8-3 for this movie. That it was very good. Would I watch it again? Probably, but I would hate watch it because I would angrily watch it for some of the things that some of the characters did. But I thought it was very well done. Like I said, like I'm not a big JGL fan.
What?
Uh, Zoe Deschanel, after she started dating a property brother, she's gone. I don't even know her anymore. But thought it was like Benny said, I thought they both did a great job with the characters they played.
Yeah, she messed her face up too. What a shame.
Did she?
Yeah, at least that's what it looks like. I don't know if it's surgery or just makeup or something. I can never tell, but or I mean maybe it's just aging. I have no idea, but she definitely doesn't look
No, her eyes are
properly.
pulled back.
Yeah, what a shame. Um, well, I am not here for your JGL slander, Robbie. I do love him. I mean, he's great in Inception.
That's
He's great.
true. I'm sorry, I'm not slandering him.
Oh,
But I
just his
forgot.
character in this film.
Yeah, maybe his character in Third Rock from the Sun.
Yes.
How dare you?
Um, so I mean, if you again, if like I said before, if you asked me to score this in 2010, 11, high eights probably, like really high. And as the years have gone on, and I don't think it's I mean, it's definitely not the film. It's me. Like as I'm getting older, I hope wiser. I hope more comfortable in my own skin and in my relationships and things like that. That I like it less. I still like it, and I'm sure we'll get into it. Because Robbie's right. It does um give a good representation of like young love. Like I think I don't think it would be like an appropriate way to show, you know, I guess like someone our age, falling for each other, but like in their 20s, yeah, because that was absolutely how I was as a person. I mean, I wanted to dress like fucking Tom with my sweater vests and ties and all that bullshit and sneakers. And then, listen to sad sack music like Joy Division and Cure and like all that stuff. So I really connected with this film back then. But now, and I'm struggling to give it a score, I'm gonna go with 7.6. And I'm not even sure if that's the correct score. I don't even really know, but I still like it, but it angers me. And it's just like, I don't know, get off my lawn kind of stuff. You're just like, you dumb 20-year-olds, come on
Yeah.
now. But
Uh,
I get it because that's how I was.
yeah. I wonder if that's part of the hate I have for, not hate, but the dislike I have for the movie is I so see myself in that character
Oh
and
yeah.
just being like so being a miserable, and it's your own fault. And
Oh yeah.
now since I moved on, and I thug him, hug him, love him, leave him. Because I don't trust or need him. Take him out the hood, keep him looking good, all that. And I'm just such a playboy now that I can't envision myself as that person anymore. But no, I think that has something to do with it, like just having that disdain for the way that I was back then. But it's a part of growing up. So what can you do?
Yeah. Oh, of course, we're all stupid. Like looking, you look back and you're just like, I was so dumb.
Yeah.
Um,
Every
but the,
relationship was the end of the world.
oh, yeah, of course. The fucking stupid. How stupid was I? And what is that hormones? Is it lack of wisdom? Is it, I don't know. I don't even know why, but almost everyone has had that type of relationship or breakup or whatever. It's just, I don't know. I think that's why so many people connect to this film because it's very relatable.
I think for me it was just that nobody wanted the nookie from me. And anybody that gave me the slightest hint that they might, I just latched on like a child, grabbed their leg and wouldn't let go.
I think it could be part of like somebody's insecurities as well. Um, it's a lot of self-doubt. I know personally for me, and you go through a breakup, you think you're never going to find somebody or you're going to be alone forever. And I think that's part of insecurities on my part. But I also think to not repeat those same patterns, you have to grow from a typical you break up. Do I think Tom does that at the end? I mean, I'm not going to spoil anything, but I don't know. I have no idea what Tom's going to do, and that would be another fantastic episode on Benny's popular podcast.
Yeah.
What comes next? What's the name of that podcast?
Yeah, what comes next?
Does he
So
fuck it up with Autumn?
100%.
I
But
honestly, I honestly think that he falls into the same exact trap because he learned nothing. He immediately saw this girl and was like, "Oh, this is the next. This is my girl." She's so, because that's what I think happened with Summer in the first place. He saw her and said, "Oh my God, you're a 10," and that's it. You're just always a 10, no matter what you do.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly my point. When he looks into the camera, it's like this motherfucker. Damn it, I don't want to curse. This son of a gun didn't learn at all. He didn't learn. Yeah, what the name Autumn shocks you, and he falls right back in. It's not like he can't tell me that he magically just flipped a switch and he was over Summer right then and there. He's gonna repeat the same shit. He's gonna put her on a pedestal, and he's gonna constantly go through that until he finally grows up and says, "Hey, listen, I can't be doing this." But that's part of who he is. And again, I don't think he learned anything from the breakup with Summer. I do think that he would repeat the same mistakes that he did with Summer, with Autumn.
Can I be
Uh,
honest? I'm
yes, of
sorry, Ryan.
course.
Then I'll let you jump in with your point because
Yeah.
it's just a quick point. All the beautiful directing, all the things that made this movie good, completely went out the window with the look into the camera at the end of the movie. I hate
Disagree.
that. I hate the look into the camera in certain spots.
You don't like breaking the
Yes.
fourth wall?
not in this type of movie when it was like so stylistically done and like beautifully shot and all these different things that I haven't seen in other movies before. I just felt like it was such a cheap thing at the end of the movie.
I could see that. I feel like he was looking into my eyes and saying, Ryan, me and you, we're the same.
If it
I,
was
I
Gosling that
understood.
did it, then I might have loved it.
I don't like that you got this slander against JGL here. I have to
It's
defend him.
I like JGL,
Okay.
but he's
I
not at
mean,
that
he's no
level where
Gosling. We know this.
yeah, there are things that Gosling can do that nobody else can.
I feel like I want like a 10-minute video of Gosling like reading the dictionary, and I'm sure it would be fucking amazing.
Please, it'd be the number one video on Pornhub.
Definitely. Um, no, fuck. What was the point? Damn it.
Sorry.
No, we should try and stop cursing. Um, I don't even remember my point, and that's
Well,
fine.
Robbie was talking about him falling into the same trap with
Oh yeah,
Autumn.
yeah. I disagree. I think he learned something. Like the fact that yes, he quit his job because he was depressed. That's not the same as evolving. But I think the sequence was short. But I think he grew up a little bit, but we'll never know. Like, we need Benny's, script, what happens next, to find out. And maybe that's because I kind of saw myself in that like years later. Yes, and maybe he does fuck up with Autumn, but eventually, damn it, I keep cursing. Maybe he does the same thing with Autumn, but hopefully eventually he learns because I think anyone with any substance will eventually learn because you have to.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what's this all for, I guess.
I mean, I know some people that still haven't learned and they're way past the age that they should have. Um,
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I just
real
hold JGL in high regard.
That's true. Quick little detour here. Minka Kelly smashed with Derek Jeter, and then that was it for her.
What do you mean, like as far as being in stuff?
Yeah, I feel like she hooked up with Jeter, and that was the last anybody ever heard from her. Where is she?
I mean, if I hooked up with Jeter, I'd probably fade away into the to the inner space too.
You think she got a big severance payment?
I don't know.
think she
I
went
think
to
she's
do
in
Friday Night
stuff.
Lights, right?
She was in Friday Night Lights.
She dated in Trevor.
Oh,
Did she?
she's in stuff. She's in stuff. We just
She's a
haven't watched
terrible
it.
actress. Terrible actress.
Not great.
But that doesn't really matter when you're looking at that face. Yeah, I'm
Robbie,
not.
Dua Lipa or Minka Kelly?
Ooh.
Oh,
Oh. Dua Lipa.
wow.
Yeah,
I
Dua
feel like
Lipa.
she's your number one. True or not true?
True.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good for her because
I mean, she's no Hillary.
you're a catch.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm a real catch. I mean, I'm Sunday's trout. Um, she's no Hillary Duff, as some would say, but what do I know?
You take it too far. You extrapolate and add things to the things that I say
What
that
did I
aren't.
say? What did I say? How am I extrapolating,
I
collaborating,
was not
modulating?
knocking. I was not knocking Dua Lipa. I love Dua Lipa. If she was here right now, I would be rubbing it in your face. But I'm just saying there are other things to whatever. We won't get into it. It's Valentine's Day, please.
Listen, I can feel the tension in your face from the Zoom. I want you to let the world know I didn't extrapolate. We had a conversation.
You're
There was a
basically
couple.
saying I would just throw Dua Lipa to the side. It's not
I
true.
didn't I didn't say that. Let's move on before I cut his throat like like I would cut JGL's throat right now.
I have a confession to make. If Dua Lipa was in my house right now, I wouldn't know who she is.
You'd learn real quick. I'll tell you that right now.
Okay, that's fair. But I'd just be like, "Who are you, lady?" And then my wife would
she,
probably get upset.
she would say one kiss is all it takes.
I'm
That's it.
assuming that's referencing a song or something.
It is.
Okay. I'm old. I listen to the same shit I listened to 20 years ago. Anyway, So much for
Two,
not being all over the
two
place.
stars. Two
Two
stars.
stars.
This is a 2-star podcast,
The
babe.
2-star podcast. Let's rename it to the 2-star podcast. Um, do you guys want to do scenes or
No,
characters first?
cutting you off.
Oh, please.
This movie is more than just favorite characters and least favorite characters. This movie is about takes and takes
And
and
hot
takes.
takes. Okay.
This, I'm not trying to go off the rails and bring this down to a 2-star podcast, but this is much more than my
So,
favorite character and least favorite character. So
so do you want to do takes first, or do you want to do characters and scenes first?
let's go
Takes.
takes.
All right,
Takes.
please.
Takes.
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 Takes. Takes. Takes. Takes.
Robbie,
So
please kick us off with your take.
I have a couple of questions, and
Please.
maybe I'll piggyback off your answers. Uh, is Tom right?
No.
Is Summer right?
No.
Is Tom a reliable narrator?
No.
No.
All right, takes over. Favorite character?
No, I think this is how I see it. Like they're like I said, I think they're both assholes. Not assholes, assholes. Because
They're immature.
they're both immature. Tom, like I said, put her on the pedestal, but Summer knew what she was doing the whole time. She had the confession from Tom's friend when he was drunk and said, "Oh, he really likes you." Then she overhears the conversation with Blondie. Don't even get me started on him because I got some information revealed to me by my wife before we started this podcast, and he's on my shit list.
Oh no.
Uh-uh.
He had the whole blow up fight with her. He had tried to have the conversation in the car with her, so she knew how he felt. It was very obvious how he felt, and she fed into it. She was having fun, and I don't fault her for that. But there comes a certain point, I feel like, where you have to realize what you're doing. And this goes for a guy or a girl. Because if the guy was in the situation, he would be just as wrong. It's not because she's a girl and she's leading him on. But also, Tom, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? He kept he kept pushing, even though he knew she didn't want a relationship. I think he just maybe thought, I'm gonna be different than everybody else. But at the end of the day, just watching the two of them, it was like watching a death spiral, and they're both getting pulled down into it.
Yeah. I mean, again, like Tom wanted it to be more than it was. And like I said before, I was in the same boat probably multiple times, but I'm thinking specifically of one certain relationship, or I don't even know if I call it a relationship because it's whatever. But she also strung him along. She wanted him in his life and used his crush or feelings for her to keep him around. Like when they did have that fight and she came back, she totally played into, his feelings by, being, I'm sorry and I shouldn't have done that and blah blah blah. Still never really committing to anything, but allowing him to let his guard down again and let her back in and thinking that that meant something. Or but I say they're both wrong. Summer is more wrong, and I don't know if this is my perspective as a man or not, but fine. All right, she's not interested in a serious relationship. They hang out, they have sex and whatever, fine, that's great. But the entire time forward from the trip, that on the train, the fact that she doesn't tell him that she's engaged only 180 days after they stop seeing each other, which is insanity. So this girl met another guy, got engaged, and is about to get married in like half a year. Invites him to her, I assume, her engagement party.
Insane.
In fucking sane. How could you do that to somebody that had feelings for you and it was not just a friend? Like that is so fucked up, and I'm not surprised that it sent him into a fucking spiral. So that's way worse, I think.
Well, and I don't want to get into the business of defending Summer because
Oh, but
Listen,
please play a devil's advocate here.
I'm not a lawyer, and I don't aspire to be one, so I don't like defending the guilty. But I don't think she was engaged at the wedding. I think she says that.
Oh, like yeah, a few days after that or
Yeah,
whatever.
she
Then
was
you're
definitely
right.
seeing somebody at that
Yes,
point,
you're right. You're right.
but yeah, I don't know if it is, and that kind of puts her in a spot where now you've invited him to this party, which is like a de facto engagement party. But also, where the hell was he at the party? Like, you never see him. Just that she has the ring.
I think you see one time that he was like in a suit talking to, like Tom looked over and there
Yeah.
was like two dudes and like
Oh,
shaking a hand like that. But not to cut you off.
please cut,
E
babe, cut.
Even though she's not engaged at the wedding, she's still feeding into him and leading him on at
Yes.
the wedding and giving him false hope. And I don't agree with that, whether it's summer, winter, fall, or spring, whoever the character is, I'm not with that, man or woman. That's not fair to somebody.
Right.
She knew what she was doing. She knew how much Tom was in love with her and wanted to be in a relationship with her. Yeah, I understand Tom put her on the pedestal and he was very, gullible and annoying and very insecure and probably a little too much. But again, the thing I harken back to is the same thing that Ryan said. When she came back to him after the fight, again, she knew what she was doing. And it could be the roles reversed. It could have been Tom doing that. You know what you're doing, and it's not right, man or woman. And it just wasn't a cool thing to do. And that's always going to anger me in everything. Maybe because it's not something that I would do. Yeah. Have I been in relationships or talked to people where I'm like, no, I'm not really feeling this, but I cut that off. I'm not trying to lead somebody on if I don't like them because that's not fair to them. Am I mature about it? I think now I am. Back then, probably not.
Yeah.
But that's just a part of growing up. But that was a tough scene to watch because it was so wrong for her to invite him there, knowing she had a boyfriend and knowing kind of what she did at the wedding. And then just to say, oh, I'm engaged. I would have fucking lost it. I probably would have jumped off of the Chrysler building, wherever they were. I would have fucking lost it. And like Ryan said, no wonder why he went into a spiral. That was so hurtful and so mean and so messed up to do. Listen, whatever childhood she had, I get it. I'm sure it plays into trust issues and divorce and all these things, and I understand that. But don't do that to somebody. It's not a cool thing to do.
Yeah, that was really the most egregious thing. Like, you could get away with saying, well, we know how much Tom really feels about her because he's always gushing to his friends, and we see that. But does Summer necessarily think that because every time she said, I just want it to be casual, he's like, yeah, no, that's cool. That's fine. That's
Right.
fine.
He should have been honest too.
Yeah. And everything up to that point, you could say, well, Tom's just being a puppy dog and keeps coming back, even though he knows he's not going to get what he wants. But when they break up, and then she's seeing somebody and she pulls that shit at the wedding, that stuff at the wedding, excuse me, not that that's going to help it, but um when she pulls that at the wedding, that's when it was like, all right, you did you know what you were doing the whole time? Because now it really seems like you knew what you're doing. You don't know about anybody at this wedding. Oh, here's Tom. I know that I can have a good time with Tom if I just kind of like let him back in a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, and I feel like I know I've that's happened to me before, where I thought I was, not. I'm like, all right, maybe this person doesn't want a relationship or this and that. I'm like, but I think over time, maybe, she'll realize. And even that, I was like a sucker. Like it ended, and then I saw her like on a ferry, and then I fell back into the Tom thing. I was like, oh, come sit next to me. And it was like a bitch move instead of just saying having some self-respect for myself and saying, fuck this, fudge this. Um, I, like fudge this. I like you had a chance or whatever it was. I'm not here to be, some sympathy dog because you need somebody to sit next to or this and that. But you're an idiot. You're young and you think certain things, and sometimes you don't have self-respect for yourself, or you think things are going to change. But that was one of the worst things I've ever watched in a movie. Worse than the dude carrying, looking for his arm and Saving Private Ryan. Worse than that.
Yeah. And
Yeah, I mean,
I
go
think
ahead.
Tom was sorry, Benny. I'll be quick. That Tom was right. I hurt his feelings so bad he went off camera. Um, Tom was right to a certain extent when he said, when he quit his job and he was like, it's the bullshit movies and songs and like all the media, because what we were just talking about, especially what Robbie, what you were saying, like how many relationships I think are successful in which one person chases the other and like tries to convince them that I'm worth something, I'm worth being with, or I'm worth it. Like, yeah, of course you're not gonna know like this, like, oh, this person's the one I'm gonna marry, but like it shouldn't be like here's my pros and cons list. You decide. Like, and that's what Tom was right about, where a lot of movies present that as like a viable option for romantic conquest. Like, no, 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 keep pushing. They'll eventually come around. Like
I've
that's
tried that so many times.
yeah, that
It
doesn't
doesn't
fucking
work.
work. Like no, if someone's like not really into you, there's not much that you're gonna do that all of a sudden they're gonna be like, oh wait, Ryan, he's definitely someone I want to be with. It's just that's not how it works. So,
Yeah.
but that's what Tom was kind of doing with by yeah, let's just be friends and blah blah blah. And we've all been there. I've done that where it's like, no, yeah, I'm not trying to take it serious. And inside I'm like, oh my God, I love this person.
You're writing little Ryan loves so and so
Yeah,
in your
yeah, yeah,
notebook.
yeah. Mrs. Ryan, blah blah blah.
And I don't want to. I'm not. Yeah, some are stunk, and Tom stunk too. But it's obviously it's easier said than done. But Tom should just be like, all right, I want a relationship. You don't want it. This indecisiveness isn't for me. It's gonna tear up, you know, my emotional well-being. I have to just cut it off and just deal with it. And like you said, Ryan, like I was like, oh, this person broke up with me and wants nothing to do with me. I'm gonna win her back. And
Yeah.
0% of the time that happens.
Yeah.
Never works.
And
Yeah.
it's but it's just sometimes being a human being is so freaking complicated and so tough. And especially when you're going through what Tom went through and vice versa, men and women, your mind plays tricks on you and you look back and you're like, man, what an idiot. The things I said or the things I did or the things I told people, I'm like, why did I do that? But that's what you are in the moment. Your
Yeah.
emotions are everywhere. It's natural. It's and some people are better than others at it. And I'm not good at that. You know, I'm very emotional, like to tell everybody my business, and that's a stupid thing, but it just happens, and you just got to learn from everything.
Yeah.
But that's where I do blame Tom for his role in this because like Ryan said, like there is 0% chance when somebody doesn't want something with you that you're gonna like force them or change their mind. Like there's nothing you could do at that point. And I look back at the moment at the bar where he gets into the fight with that dude and his opportunity, I think in that whole scene was to say something to him, not just turn around and sucker punch him.
Right.
And I think that's the moment where she was like, this dude, he ain't it.
He's not
He ain't
emotionally stable.
he's not emotionally stable. He had a chance to defend me at one point and he couldn't do it. So yeah, I mean, there he just stacked the deck against himself and he kept like ramming his head into it, thinking that she was gonna eventually just fall for him, and it just wasn't gonna happen.
Yep. And that's again, we've all been in a relationship like that. But you hopefully learn. And that's why I kind of say maybe projecting my own life onto Tom here is like I hope he did learn and approached the autumn relationship differently, in a more mature way. And like if it doesn't work out, he doesn't, fall down a fucking hole and just realizes that like sometimes things just don't work out. I think of before I met my wife, a girl that I was like casually seeing, kind of like did this whole thing like, I really like you, but I just, it's not gonna work out. Like whatever her dog and pony show was about, like we shouldn't see each other anymore.
How
I
dare
was like,
she?
all right, that's cool. Like I can't make you like me. I get it. Like that's fine. No hard feelings. And she was like,
How dare
really?
you?
Like everything's cool. I'm like, yeah. I'm a mature person. I'm not gonna spiral right now. Like it is what it is. Like nice to know you. See you later.
Yeah.
And like not, and I'm not saying that that's a healthy reaction either, but it's when you grow up and mature and have these experiences, like you're gonna mess up, but eventually you learn and you do what's best for yourself. And I'm hoping that's what Tom did. Again, we don't know, not until the part two comes out, 501 days of summer or whatever. But yeah,
Yeah.
any more
One
takes,
last
Robbie?
take.
Yeah,
Yeah, one. It's not even a take, but one last before we go into our scene. She already done stabbed him up and down his guts, right? With the "come to my party." Oh, surprise, I'm engaged. He sees her like she had to go to his spot, right? That's my spot. Like when
at
I
the end
guess
when they're by
Jeff went
the
to the max. Yeah,
on the bench.
when like Jeff went to the like back to the max, something like that, and really wanted to get Zach all jammed up. How dare he? Um, when she just tells him like, "Oh yeah, I was chances, and I was at the whatever the coffee shop reading, who knows, Robert Frost or whatever the bullshit she was spewing," and she says to him, I just knew, uh, I guess like at that moment something that I couldn't get with you, or the feelings I couldn't have for you, and it's like, all right, like really, like you already killed the guy. Why do you got to stab him a little bit more than that? Like that really hurt my feelings. Like that. That's when I was like, Summer, we're done here. Like, get out of my life.
As much as it was a fucking kick in the balls, I kind of think that that's what he needed to hear
Yes, I agree with
because
you. It was super hurtful, but it was the truth.
yeah, he kept chasing it. He kept chasing it. He kept like, why? And she was like, and it was impartial to prove him right when he was talking about fate and love and true love and all that stuff. And he went on the whole, oh, Summer, you were right. None of that shit matters. And it was a hurtful way to do it, but she was almost like, no, everything you said, I realize in that instance, and it wasn't with you, which sucks. But it was kind of like, yeah, I learned what you meant. And I know you want some type of answer of why, but there wasn't anything for me to say other than I saw this guy, I met him, and I felt all those things that you were talking about. And I never felt that way with you. And that's your answer as to why I never wanted to get serious, why we stopped talking. Again, doesn't explain, doesn't
Hmm.
absolve her of all the other stuff that she did, but I think he needed to hear that. And I think that's kind of when it sunk in for him.
Yeah. Like he played it well. Like you could see that those words like just fucking poison dagger in his eyeballs.
Fudging.
Yeah. It's fudging. Damn. Maybe next week we'll stop cursing. Um, but it's 100% was the truth for both of them. Um, and while I do think that Summer moved on extremely quickly, it's probably true. Like she just knew that that's who she wanted to be with, whether it lasts or not, who knows. But Tom needed that extra kick in the balls to hopefully get him to realize, like, yeah, all right, maybe Summer is a shit person, but I can learn from this as well.
Yeah.
Hope he did. Who knows? All right. Any more takes, Robbie?
I'm taked out.
Take down.
If you want to get me more angry than I already was when this movie ended, we should move on.
Were you angry when the movie ended, or were you happy?
No, I really enjoyed the movie. I just think that's it's I'm not angry. That's just
I
life.
know.
That's
Yeah.
just relationships. It's hurtful. Somebody's always going to get hurt, whether it's me or somebody else, and it's just a tough pill to swallow. And one of the shittier things about life, like getting in a relationship, the beginning of it,
Poopier thing.
it's some yeah, poopy. Damn it, it's the dutiest things about life. Um, but like getting in a relationship, those first initial stages of like it's
Oh,
some
the
of the best
best.
things about life.
The best.
But that's the price you're gonna pay. A lot of our relationships aren't gonna last. And you know, only the truly special ones do last. But do you know how many times you gotta clear those hurdles to get there? So everybody's gonna be disappointed. Not every single relationship is gonna last, and not every single person that is in that relationship is gonna be the one coming out with the happy ending.
Right. Yep. If you want to dance, you got to pay the band, as they say.
Let's say
Um,
that.
Scenes or characters?
Scenes
All right.
from an
Favorite
Italian
scene.
restaurant.
Ugh.
My favorite songs of all time.
It's such a
Uh,
good song, but I hate that Billy Joel gets shoved down my throat. I appreciate that he is extremely talented and his songs are fantastic. I just don't want people shoving it in my face.
who's shoving, babe? Who's shoving?
Everyone in this geographical area.
Well, let me tell you something. Get yourself off that island.
Uh, we'll say maybe someday.
I'll let you know when an apartment opens up in my building.
No, thank you.
You could
Um,
have art on your wall like this.
oh, nice.
A bottle of red.
Bottle of ice.
All right, favorite scenes. Who wants to go first?
I'm
Not
taking
me.
it because nobody
Go, please
jumped in.
go, Benny.
Give me the expectation versus reality scene.
Ah,
Sorry, I
that's all
had to.
right.
That I feel like that's chalk in this movie.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Um, I'm sure things like that have been done before in movies. I'm sure I've seen that done before in movies, but um, I love the fact that it's expectation versus reality. I love how well they played it. You could see how many times have you been infatuated with a girl and you imagine or you had a crush on a girl and you imagine what going to that party is going to be like and you're going to have all the wittiest jokes and you're going to be sitting in the corner together and nobody else is going to matter. And I just love how well they played off the reality of everything. Just fantastic. I loved that. And I even loved, to maybe bleed out a little bit, him walking out and it goes into that drawing
Yeah,
afterwards, where it's just like a cool, if that wasn't cool enough, the way that they did that shot afterwards, I just thought was like easily my favorite part of the movie.
yeah, agree. Good part.
And
Robbie, want to go? Or you
sure,
comment?
quick.
Sorry.
Yeah, like watching this movie, I was like, man, this is Phil. This is Phil, and this is Phil in this movie. I'm like, now I know why Phil. And it's not. I'm not bashing Phil because I'm like, that's how Phil dresses. And like Ryan, I haven't seen. I didn't know you that well to see you
Oh,
dress like that. I mean, I wish I did. Please forget
I
about
used
my
to
plum.
wear neckties to parties, fucking vests, and like I that was my exact outfit except sub in like different sneakers. Like I used to dress exactly like that and Phil, same thing. So like we probably went out and people were like, they must have a healthy relationship.
Yeah, one thing I didn't like was his Pumas. So take a
Yeah,
hike.
those Pumas were gross,
Uh,
weren't they?
Brought the
yeah, I
whole
was like, that's
outfit down.
embarrassing. How day? Yeah, I was like, no wonder why he's getting no puss or a cat.
Uh,
No wonder why he's getting no cat.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I would love to get if Phil's listening, I'd love to get his take on this movie. I don't think I ever heard his take on it, so that'd be nice. My
LTBW at Gmail podcast at gmail.com. Send us an email, people.
please. Uh, my favorite scene would have to be the scene when the three dudes are just recanting recounting Summer saying her weekend was good in the elevator and the way that he
It
said it.
was
That was so good.
good.
Yeah, it's so good because, dude, I mean, I still do that shit, and I still have those thoughts where I'm like, oh, really? Like it was good. It's like, oh, she was probably smashing and dashing everybody up on the Upper West Side, and it just was, it's just a real thing. Like the things that they were saying is verbatim things that would go through my mind when I met somebody, or even the dumbest stuff like through text when somebody says something, you're like, oh, all right, well, that's it, that's done, forget about that. And then you go tell your friends, you go tell your cousin, he tells everybody under the sun and things like that. So that's just what it was. It's something that is so true to life and something that I constantly did and still do.
Yeah, that was a good scene. And you're right, it's true. Um, my favorite scene it probably is the expectation for first reality, but a close second is the scene after he has relations.
Oh yeah.
We'll keep it G with Summer for the first time and is walking to work just fucking dancing. He's got the people all around him, shaking hands with everyone. They got the song going, the
All the
band.
notes, please say
Oh,
less.
please, the best. Um, when I first saw that movie, I was just like, this is fucking fantastic. But even now, I still really
Watch
love
your
that
F's.
scene.
Watch your F's.
Uh,
Fudge and fantastic. Come on, man, with the fudge.
funkin', funkin' fantastic. Just love that scene because I mean, uh, I'm not in that life anymore, but back then, like the first time, and it didn't have to be, you actually slept with someone, but like even, just smooching up on a girl that you really liked and you were, into for a while, like that's how you feel like that night or the next morning. And the perfect contradiction is, and then they skip ahead and the elevator door opens and he's just a
Yeah.
disheveled mess
That was a good
because
one.
he's depressed and, like you know, fantastic. I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah, that was my Ani Mensch is the compilation of all those jump back and forths.
Yes.
And not necessarily all of them, but some of them were so juxtaposed that it was just like, all right,
Perfect.
perfect, perfect. They nailed that one. Um, yeah, I love, even when he's rambling on about how he loves her knees and this and that and the other thing, and then you have the
That's
juxtaposition of
yeah.
I hate
I
this and
hate
I
her
hate that.
stupid. Yeah.
Yeah, knobby knees and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I think that was, like I said, there's a lot about this movie that I like, um, because of the choices that the director made.
Yes. Agree. Um, Robbie, any Ani mentions from you? I think two.
Um, as corny as it was, the IQ scene was nice. I mean, that's
Yeah.
just what you do when a couple of young bucks are in love. You just, you go along with it. It's just love, and love is love, and we love to live, laugh, and love on this podcast. So
We
I
love
like that
love.
scene. We
Love,
love
love.
love.
It's
Yeah.
Valentine's Day. We love love.
And I love how this isn't one of my Ani mentions, but like the scene of them back in IKEA when things aren't going great, and he's same tired ass jokes. He's trying to do the same thing and recreate
Yeah.
it, and like I've been there doing that stupid crap too, like, and it doesn't work, and he's just like, why isn't this working? It worked last time. Like, here's
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ringo Starr again. Like, just get
and
some
it's
new
so
material,
stupid.
guy.
Yeah, I mean, please forget about it. But you just even that you just ignore those things or you don't pick up on them, and then after you're like, man, I should have picked up on that, but you don't know because again, you're in love.
Yeah, true. Um, so first Ani Mensch I have is I like the like narration of like introducing Tom and Summer. Like the whole like there was a 200% increase in sales at the ice cream shop and she averaged like 3.7 look backs, during her day and like all that stuff. I thought that was cool. And then I also liked there's just the very, very beginning with, because I love the song, the Regina Spektor song, um, and just kind of like the old pictures and stuff like that. Like sometimes when I look at this movie from like a whatever mile up view, it's it's very jumbled, and I know that's in some cases purposeful, but like the beginning, the narration, the quick hitter piece of like the characters talking about love kind of thrown in there, and like
Yeah.
some of the other pieces, I'm just kind of like, that doesn't really fit, but I still like it, so I'll let it pass. But
Yeah,
it
they stole that from. Oh, sorry. That was from that was from like Harry Met Sally, where they were like interviewing like couples and things like that in between cuts of the movie.
Yeah. Yep.
So it kind of reminded me of that. But I get what you're talking about.
Yeah. No, I still like it, but there's definitely parts where I'm like, they probably could have cut that out. Like that doesn't fit. Um, all right, least favorite scenes. Um, oh, I go first. I mean, we already like killed it to death, but I'll go complete chalk here and just say like the whole um as much as I love the scene, like the expectations versus reality scene as
Was
well. I
mine.
loved it, but I also hated it at the same time because it was just so hurtful to Tom to do that to him. And like whether I don't think she did it purposefully, but I don't think she didn't do it purposefully. She was just like, yeah, it'll be fine. Who cares? I don't care about Tom. I'm engaged now. What do I give a shit? I mean, what do I give a
To
stuff?
Give a poop. Yeah, that was mine too. That was my number one. It was such a hurtful scene.
Yeah.
Um, Quick turnaround time on the relationship to engagement. I will see how long that lasts in our next episode. Watch what happens next.
Yeah.
So
um
Oh, wait. So basically, I'm sorry to cut you off, Benny, but basically what happens is Summer gets divorced from this guy because who gets married in 6 months and then comes back to Tom and tries to ruin the relationship with Autumn. There it is.
oh
That's the
please, she
script.
changed their name to Winter.
Yeah.
See, like I've been thinking about this and I wanted to bring this up both times we talked about this scene. So what is Summer supposed to do there? Like, does she call Tom and say, "Hey, I'm engaged now, by the way, don't come to the party"?
No,
Which,
I
but
think the
like,
courteous thing is to call or text, but you don't have to say don't come, but be like, if that's going to be weird for you, like maybe you shouldn't kind of thing.
mm. But also, and I kept saying this when we were talking about the movies, like, what does she owe Tom at the end of
Nothing.
the day? She
oh,
doesn't.
she doesn't know time or anything, but it's what that's not a nice thing to do.
Right. As
Yeah,
a
That's the
human
thing.
being, it's not that you shouldn't try to hurt people's feelings.
yeah, but I don't know.
Ask Guy. Listen. Why don't you ask Guy this? All right.
Yeah,
Ask her this from me.
okay,
All right.
yeah,
Say say you two were dating and you were being a flooze and you were like, I'm I'm not really feeling this isn't for me. You see her again, you're leading her on, she doesn't know it, she thinks that something's gonna come out of it. And you say, hey, come to my party, not on Long Island because I hate Long Island. Come to my party in the city. I'm
please. Who
having
would
a
have an
roof.
engagement party on Long Island? Please.
Come to the city with me. I got a party at my pad on the Upper West, right by Central Park. Come over. She gets there. She's like, oh man, finally. And then bam, you're there, white pants, beard looking immaculate,
Big rock
brows
on my
on
finger.
fleek. And then here's my fiance, escargot. How's she gonna feel?
Hillary
Dua
Duff.
Lipa.
Here's my Hillary Duff. You're right.
She'd
They
just be
don't know
happy to be
anything.
there.
That's true. They know she doesn't know she doesn't know Tom anything,
No.
but the common courtesy of an ex, no matter how short or long the relationship was, is to just A, not invite him, and B, just be like, hey, listen, I still want
I
you to
feel
come,
like
but I got engaged.
she can't help herself.
No.
Like she just can't help herself.
She
And
might be
that's
one of those people that like needs everyone to like her and like be friends with her, whether she cares about them or not. But
I really hate that her character is a woman because I feel like three guys being like she sucks. I feel like it comes off so poorly, but she
oh, she does
sucks.
suck. And Tom sucks too, but for like different reasons.
Yeah.
No, but
I
like
know
you
what you're
said, if
saying.
we,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
it's like all three scorned men who had their heart broken in the past. Yeah, duh, that's happened to all of us
Everybody.
and women too. If it was flipped, we would say, and I think Tom stinks too, but we would say, I think I would hate Tom just as much, not hate, but just as much as Summer pissed me off if Tom did the same thing. It's not right either position that happened, whether Tom was doing that and invited her over and he got engaged and she thought something was going to happen, that would be messed up. The point of the story is this: either position the person was in, they did something wrong and hurtful to the other person. So that's that.
Yeah.
Woman or man, it doesn't really matter. It just happens to be what this part was written for and what how it was directed and what the movie was about.
I feel
Yeah.
you.
You can like as an example, in The Holiday, I hate Rufus Sewell because he leads Kate Winslet on. He's a piece of shit. So fuck him. But it's not because it's a man or a woman. It's just
Fudge
what?
him.
But
Ah,
him.
fudge him. See? All right,
Poopy.
let's move on. But I know what you're saying, Benny, but I think at least I hope it comes across that this is appropriate dislike,
Yeah.
not just like us being, scorned men that are gonna go on 4chan later and complain about it.
I think
Start
we
a
may
group
have
called
another
No Ma'am.
Oh man.
we have another 2-star review coming in our future.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, so characters.
Yeah.
Um, let's do least favorite characters first. Anyone want to start?
I'll start.
Yeah, please go
Um,
ahead.
my least my least favorite character is Vance, Clark Gregg. How dare you?
Okay.
How dare you, Mr. Vance? How dare you basically call in Tom thinking that you're a caring man and you're there for Tom and you're like, hey man, you're not really, your work's been slacking. What's going on? And Tom's distraught and he says, enough of that. I got these funeral cards. Why don't you pour your energy into that and write some funeral cards for me to make some cash? I don't care how you're feeling, inside and emotionally and how it's affecting your job. Just write these funeral cards. He's a cornball. I don't like that. Just shows you that managers stink in real life and in the movies as well. So
Yeah.
Vance, that guy.
It's a bad look from Agent Coulson, who I like.
I was gonna say I like him as an actor.
Yeah. Um, least favorite. Go, Benny. Go ahead. 'Cause I don't know. I might
All right.
pick something.
I hate to do this to him because I really liked this character until about 2 hours ago. Um, Matthew Gray Gubler, you stupid name, Paul.
Yeah. What did he do?
Oh, please, Aya, direct quote. I don't like this movie. It pisses me off, but I watched it a bunch of times because I wanted to watch him over and over and over again. I had a huge crush on him.
What?
So I am done with him. I'm through with him. I'm gonna find him on the street and give him the old uppercut right to his luscious locks. Handsome bastard that he is, funny guy in the movie. I don't know what I mean. Now maybe it's making sense as to why she picked me. Maybe she's got terrible taste in men. I don't know, but yeah, I gotta say, I'm Paul, my least favorite character now. On Valentine's Day, she did this to me. I know you're
I
hearing
thought
this after Valentine's Day, but we're recording on Valentine's Day, and she did this to me.
I thought you were gonna say he did like a couple like MAGA tweets or storm the
Yeah,
Capitol, things like
something.
that. That's
No,
worse. That's worse than that. What she did to you on Valentine's Day, dare she?
She stormed my capital.
That's a huge capital.
Might
She's
get the
basically
bots might
Summer.
get us for that one too.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. It's even worse than what we were saying earlier. She basically ruined Valentine's Day, and this day is a day that'll live in infamy, is all I can say.
Oh, please forget about like up there with D-Day.
Oh,
He is pretty handsome though.
well, I was gonna say in the movie, I feel like he looked like a dork, but I just looked at some pictures of him, and he is pretty handsome. So good for him.
That hair.
It's it's a good looking salad.
I know.
Apparently, I'm just reading this from his bio. Um, he interned for Wes Anderson, so good for him.
Mm.
Shout out. Friend of the program, Wes Anderson.
Yeah, Wes, if I know you're listening, come on and let us know how he did. Did he get you coffee good? You know how'd it go?
Man, what'd you give Royal Tenenbaums?
I think I gave it a 7.1.
Mr. Art School over here, Mr. Tish, Mr. NYU Tish.
Mr. Rizdy himself.
Um, so my least favorite characters. I'm gonna go ahead since I'm glad I'm going last and no one picked them. I'm gonna go ahead and give it to both Tom and Summer because they're my least favorite characters because they're both stupid. However, since I get to go first for favorite characters, and we're changing the rules, if you guys want to pick either one of them, because I'm picking two characters, you are free to do so. But they are also my favorite characters. So I love them and I hate them. Love. I'm glad that worked out that way.
You picked well. Now I know where Paul is from. Sorry. I'm
What's he from?
obsessed with him. I'm obsessed with him. Criminal Minds.
I never watched that, but all right, good. Good
It's
for
one of
him.
those
I don't
shows
watch
that's just
CBS shows, bro. You're Republican.
Bots are getting us for that one.
it's just one of those shows that's like when you're going to watch Monday Night Raw or something like that. It's like
Yeah.
on right before it, and you catch like the last 5 minutes of it.
That's why I love
Please walk
Sure.
away. Please walk away.
Because I watch Criminal Minds.
No, please. We're talking about important things here. She, she popped out of the room to tell me about Criminal Minds. It's over. Anyway,
On
my
Valentine's Day.
my favorite character. Let me stall for time here because
I don't think I owes you anything now, Ben.
she doesn't owe me anything.
That's
That's
true.
right. My favorite character was Jeffrey Arend as Mackenzie. I just thought
He was good.
He was very funny. He had a lot of funny one-liners when he was wasted in the bar. Fantastic. Him singing "Proud to be an American." Fantastic.
Fantastic.
He was just great. He's like one of those guys that was in a couple of movies here and there, like late 2000s, early 2010s, and then kind of disappeared.
He does a lot of voice work.
Does he? Okay, cool.
Because I was looking at him up. I was like, where's that guy been? Because he was also in Super Troopers.
Oh, was he?
Did you see
Oh
that
yeah,
movie?
he was in the car. He was the kid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Snozzberries taste like snozzberries.
Yeah.
You boys
So
like
yeah.
Mexico.
Gonna need to change the subject right about meow. Yeah, so I'll pick him as my favorite character.
Do you know who that gentleman is married to? Or was? I
Some
don't know if they're still married.
I know.
I hope.
I know. I
Hillary
know.
Duff.
Christina
Yes.
Hendricks.
Christina Hendricks.
Oh, all right, good for you.
Good for him.
I guess.
What movie? What movie did we watch with her?
25th hour.
Wait, was that the one where the guy got
Drive. She was
bit
in Drive.
in the
No.
dogs?
Yes, and then
In the
he
neck?
had rabies. He got rabies, and he
Right.
only had 25 hours to live.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, I could be watching. Like I could be watching trivia instead of dealing with this moronic man.
It's nonsense.
Uh,
My favorite character is Rachel Chloe Grace
yes,
choice.
Moretz.
Great choice.
I love it. She was there for her brother. I have two sisters who are always there for me, so I remind you of my two sisters and how they helped me through difficult times. And she was she was the Riz god, like you said. She was the one that had the Riz as a young gal. Um, I just love that. She's a great actress. I think she's in fantastic in a lot of things that she's in, and it just brought a lot of um memories back as a young boy who has dealt with heartbreak and had sisters be there for him and ready to slice and dice women. So um I liked Chloe Grace Moretz as Rachel. Good part and good character.
Yeah, she's good. She's good in Kick-Ass too. I mean,
Yeah.
kick butt.
Kick behind.
Kick tush.
Um, any matches?
I mean, I do want to, like I said, shout out Tom and Summer for their performances
Yeah.
because the fact that we've had this spirited of a discussion on these two characters goes to show how well they did. So, you know, all that being said, shout out to them and shout out to Yvette Nicole Brown. She popped up. I was like,
Oh, my
wow, that's
fave.
yeah. I was like that was unexpected. So shout out to her.
Did you watch Community?
Parts I've like seen
Sure.
episodes while other people were like watching it.
It's a good show, and she's in it. Um, all right. Any other Ani mentions, or should we move on?
No, I listen, here's another take. I'm coming out of left field with
Please,
this take.
more takes. Takes.
Takes,
Takes.
takes,
Takes.
take.
Takes.
It's so hard to time a chant on Zooms. Take,
Takes.
takes.
Take. This isn't my points that I made about this movie and my takes about this movie is just about not about Summer stinks and Tom stinks. It's just about flawed people hurting other people. That's all it is. That's what life's about, and that's what happens. I'm not
Hurt people.
bashing
Hurt
Summer.
people.
Yeah, I'm not bashing Summer. She stunk. She let Tom on, whatever. It is what it is. Tom stunk. Tom fell head over heels. Tom didn't realize what was going on. He just wanted to be in love and didn't care about anything like that. Didn't see all the flags, didn't see anything like that. He stinks as well. They both stink. They're both complicated characters, and it's just a part of life. So don't at me, QT Mesa. Don't do that. It just is what it is. That's my take. I'm sticking to it.
Can I piggyback off of that point? The thing that I loved, and I don't know if I fully understood it, but I from things in pop culture, I kind of maybe thought it was a cute point that the movie made is early on when they're introducing you to Tom and they say, oh, he has spent his whole life wanting to love somebody. And this was all based on, sad British pop music
Yeah.
and a misunderstanding of the movie
The
The
Graduate.
Graduate.
No.
From what I know about that movie, it's a teacher who basically falls in love with the student or the student falls in love with the teacher. And I love that that was the movie I think that they were watching. And that's where Summer kind of realized that the teacher took advantage of Dustin Hoffman in that movie. And I think that that's kind of maybe where, what are you saying no to?
No, I don't. I
That
don't think. I don't think that's what Summer was realizing. It
I,
was. Go ahead.
I was
Finish
going
your
to say,
point.
I think she realized that she was taking advantage of Tom at that point. But go ahead.
No, I think what my interpretation of it, and Robbie, I don't know if you have one too, is at the end, and that's the scene that they're showing in the theater that they're watching, is that like, Dustin Hoffman goes after her and like it's a big romantic gesture and it's like the scene is crazy and whatever. But then when they're sitting in the back of the bus, their faces drop and
It
it's like
sinks in.
the scene I think is supposed to say like they're realizing like maybe this isn't the best idea. Like, do I really love this person or whatever? And I think that's what Summer was like kind of
Okay.
realizing in her interpretation of the film.
That was her moment.
And then like projecting that onto herself and her relationship with Tom.
Okay.
That's
I
what
like
I
that.
think. I don't know.
Yeah.
Robbie, did you ever see The Graduate?
A long time ago for a class in college when I was in
Yeah.
college for 12 years.
One of those 12 years I watched that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of like I think year 8 I watched it.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that's what they were trying to
Okay.
say, is that like in the end of The Graduate there's that moment of realization by the characters in the bus as they were leaving, and I think that's what Summer was realizing about her relationship with Tom, which is kind of what she says later to him, is like, I was always unsure about you as
Yeah.
a viable romantic interest or whatever.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good discussion.
Plastics, son. Plastics. That's from The Graduate. Anyway, so is there anything that you can think of to make this film better?
Yeah, they both of them need to go to couples therapy and figure it out, or therapy separately, please, instead of keep on hurting each other. Golly.
Golly.
I'll say no, there's not anything that you could do to make this movie better because the story is what I have an issue with. And that's not the movie's fault that I feel the way I do about it.
Fair. I said it quickly before. I think um maybe cut out some of the, and it's not filler, but it's like I felt like some of the scenes were in there and they were good, but they kind of didn't fit like the documentary-esque thing about love and some of the other things. Maybe give us a little more I don't know, something about their relationship or something like that. That's the only thing I could think of. But it was I think it's like an hour and a half, a good tight film, right? 90 minutes.
Yeah, and Hour
Yeah,
35 was nice,
perfect.
tight pace,
Yeah.
good writing, good
Yeah.
directing,
Yeah, no,
good
it's
characters.
really good. There's not a lot I could say to improve it, but yeah, I would say something like that. But I actually do know a way that we can improve it, and that's by working overtime and casting Matt Damon in this film. So every week we cast a young, old, middle-aged, whatever baby Matt Damon in the film we were watching for some reason. Does anyone want to go first?
No, not me. No, please.
I'll go first. Get the ball rolling. Give you guys a minute to think. So I'm gonna cast a uh middle-aged, experienced, maybe a nice beard a la
Oh,
Benny.
please.
Um Argyle sweater. Wait, are Argyle
Mm.
sweaters out now? Are they back?
It never left.
Good. All right, that's good to hear because I love an Argyle sweater. So a nice Argyle sweater, maybe tweed pants,
Nice.
brown wingtips, um,
Mm.
gray socks, and maybe
Ooh,
glasses. Matt Damon as Dr. Damon, the therapist.
love it.
And Tom goes to see him to work out his issues and becomes a better man
Good
because of
boy.
it. And that's the part we don't see before when he's doing the montage of drawing on his chalkboard and bouncing the ball and meeting Minka Kelly and all that stuff. So the real work was done behind the scenes with Dr. Damon in his office,
Left on
working,
the cutting room floor.
right? It was on the cutting room floor, but bring those scenes back, please.
Let me throw a little curveball here.
Please.
Does Tom want to be an architect or does he want to be an
Yes.
urban planner? Because
Uh,
he's drawn city landscapes. Can you design one building, Tom?
I don't know. Great question.
I
Oh,
think he wants to be an
Jesus.
urban planner. Please.
Golly.
Give me a young, scruffy, entry level Matt Damon as the third member of Tom's gang who talks some sense into Tom early on in the film, and this movie becomes something totally different. They're out at the town. Matt's the wingman of the cinch. He's getting Tom laid left and right. Movie turns hard left. Tom catches gonorrhea, dies. Movie over.
Oh
Wow.
my God, thank God.
45 minutes and out.
In, out. I love it. Short story. Give me a young, always lean, somewhat mean, tan, Matt Damon as the guy in the bar who cold clocks Tom. But this time he actually finishes the job and he kills Tom. He bashes his skull in so bad that Tom is on life support, and we have to see him, perish. Unfortunately, it's tragic, but yeah, give me Matt Damon as a mean Bostonian transplant that moves to LA, tries to hit on Summer, and winds up just absolutely destroying Tom's face. And yeah, that's it. We don't get to see Tom again. We don't get to watch Tom become a highly sought after urban planner, as Benny said. And we don't have to watch these two idiots destroy each other's lives and then watch Summer get married in about 67 seconds after she leaves Tom.
What was
Give
the
me
idiot's name? Wait, go ahead, Benny.
no, go ahead. His name was Douche.
No, yeah, in the movie, his name was Douche in the credits. No, what was the guy's name that screwed over George and wanted to be a city planner instead of an architect? And George is like, "There's nothing higher than
That
architect
architect.
to get the
I
scholarship." I
Yeah.
forget what his name is.
Oh yeah. The kid. It was the
Yeah,
kid.
the
Oh
kid.
my God. Real quick, give me a young 20 something Matt Damon as Summer's wife or Summer's fiance, and then I'll forgive her
Beyonce.
for everything.
I mean, if Tom saw him, then he would accept it like this, and then
Go
maybe
up,
have a
give him a
nice time
hearty,
at the party.
yeah, give him a hearty shake, kick back a couple of duels.
Yeah,
Give me Matt
little
Damon.
duels.
Give me Matt Damon as a young, lean, fresh on a dating scene. Give me Matt Damon as the guy that flips Tom into becoming a homosexual. And he forgets everything that happened between him and Summer. And Tom finally realizes after he goes to therapy with Dr. Damon, Matt Damon's twin, he realizes, hey, listen, I think I love men. And out at the karaoke bar, tank top wearing Matt Damon, muscles rippling, he falls in love and he forgets about Summer. So we never had to see Summer again. Happily ever
1,000
after.
1,000 days of getting bummed.
1,000 days of butt stuff.
I think the
And
bots
that's
are really
that.
gonna get it for that. Get us for that.
Now we're just gonna tank the podcast.
I
Any
mean,
hot takes on January 6th, Ryan?
oh come on, that's another one. We're screwed. This is gonna get like 10 views.
I gotta send you. I don't want to say it on the podcast because it's really gonna get. If there's a meme on TikTok, like it's a lot of the Call of Duty, like the Call of Duty videos, and it's like when you just first come back from your ban for violent language, and it's a guy just taking a sip of coffee, and he just says something. He's like, "Our topic today," and whatever he says, I'll send you the.
Okay.
I don't want to say it on here, but it's funny.
I think his name was Stephen Corrin in Seinfeld, who then becomes a member of the Van Buren
Van
Boys.
Buren Boys. My shout out my fantasy baseball team named Van Buren Boys.
That's all right.
Shout out that last team.
Second to last.
Just like your team in real life, they stink.
It's
Terrible
Valentine's Day.
GM,
Why are you doing
terrible
this?
GM in real life, terrible GM in fake fantasy life.
Yeah, where was John Lynch? I didn't see him on the sideline Sunday.
Why are you attacking Robbie when you should be attacking me?
You both tag teaming.
He's
And
been,
you
yo,
like-
he's been
And you like the
he's
teams
been
that I like.
attacking me. He's been attacking me since he was born,
Since the
a young
womb.
buck. Yeah,
Oh my
no wonder why he went face first in the bushes when I hit him like
I was gonna say
Latimer in the
I have
program.
a bush that will 100% disagree with everything you're saying. I
Rest
went
in
through it
peace,
like a
Steve
portal.
Wills.
I went through it like the veil, like Sirius Black going through the veil.
Ah, I love it. I love it. I killed Sirius Black. Okay. Anything else that we need to say about this film? Are there any more takes that will get this video tanked on YouTube?
There was a lot of feelings with this movie I wasn't expecting.
Yeah. It's a
Shout out
good
to
movie. It's again, it with subsequent watches, I like it less, but I still really like it. It's a really good like rom-com. Most rom-coms are really corny. But this one's good. Like you mentioned Garden State before, Benny, and I think whatever, 15 years ago, 100% they were like very intertwined. Most, people that I associated with loved both of them. But watching Garden State now, oof, it's
Not good.
bad. It's
I haven't seen it.
don't watch it. It's like just ugh. I mean,
I
Natalie
know what I'm picking
Portman's
for my
in it.
birthday now.
Don't do it.
Natalie.
Ooh.
Natalie Portman, my fave.
Well, we got a sponsor for the pod, bringing us back.
Yeah,
Shout out Annie's Organic Cheddar Bunnies.
love it. Annie, if you're listening,
Sponsor the
sponsor
pod.
the show.
Annie, if you're listening, are you okay?
All right. Well, then
See-
let's wrap it up, I guess, right?
You want me to reveal my pick for next week or no?
Oh, yeah. Are we voting or just you're picking?
It's my birthday.
I
My
love it.
rules. Just
Love it.
right.
That's right. Just like the Outback. When you
After
hear
a
you
long
wait, no, that's off.
No, that's what I said that in the Philippines. It got such a laugh when I said that when you hear your family. People are dying laughing.
Wait, you went to the Philippines?
Lazy year ago. You would think
Wow.
you
More
would
than a year
think
ago. That's old news now, babe. It's old news.
Impressive.
tell me about it. Tell me about it. You would think people would, would care about you, but they care less. They care less. Uh yeah, so after deliberation, I got a couple of movies. I was gonna put them in a hat, but then I talked to my Bill on the ride home and he swayed me. Um so I was gonna have um Goodfellas, Good Will Hunting, Wolf of Wall Street, and Social Network in a hat. Uh, but I'm wound up picking the Social Network.
Hmm.
Nice.
I like how you give Brian credit for that, but we had the same conversation.
When was this? I didn't see you.
out, out in Babylon.
Babbling.
Did we have the same conversation? I'm so sorry. Please, and Benny too. Benny, I I I, I
Maybe
think I
Brian
really
can be on the
want
podcast next week and I won't be here.
one could dream. No, I'm excited. I'm excited to hear you guys' takes. This might end the pod if they're bad takes, so you better come prepared.
I know the score already of this movie.
Yeah, I told Benny what I was giving it.
Unfair.
You'll find out next week.
Stay tuned.
Benny, you should trash the movie just to piss Robbie off.
Oh, please. I'm gonna come with the heavy hitters.
I'm excited. Good choice, Robbie.
When's the last time you seen it?
Not that long ago. I loved that movie. I watch it all the time. I'd say maybe like 6 months ago, probably.
Yeah, so like 3 weeks ago. So I don't know why I picked it, but I'm ready to watch it again. I love it.
Nice.
Benny, when's the last time you saw it? When the Mets won the World Series? I can't talk. My team just got obliterated at Super Bowl like 3 years in a row. So.
My God. I saw it very soon after it released on HBO for the first time. So not
so
that
it's
long.
been a while.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
All right. Good choice. Look forward to that. So social network next. But still follow us on Instagram. There won't be a poll this week, but like our stuff. Follow us on YouTube, wherever that button is, and send us an email. Wish the old boy a happy birthday, and let us know what you think about Social Network or 500 Days of Summer or any other films that we've watched. And let us know that we were totally not all over the place this week, because we might have been more all over the place this week than we were every other week. But this might have been one of my favorite episodes. So we love you. Robbie, tell him good night.
Good night, love.
because I'm proud to be an American. Or at least I know I'm free.
I love it. Good night.